So I want to praise God for a mishap that happened when my cheap Chinese torque wrench didn't work and I snapped the head off of one of my axle bolts. In the scriptures, Romans 8:28 says that God uses all things for good to those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. And I've learned to look for His blessings in problems. God's ways are higher than our ways, His thoughts higher than our thoughts, and we do well to be mindful of that, especially in times of trouble. And so because of that incident, I thought about it and realized that there are 23 steel M10 bolts and 14 steel M8s with some washers and nuts that seem like a lot of steel to me. Then I thought about how you could swap them out for titanium. Full bike titanium bolt kits go for $1,000 to save just over a pound on a bike, while this cost $280 for 1 pound off of the kit. I'm all about jumping, and the worst thing about jumping snow bikes is the weight of the kits, so I think this upgrade is worth it. Now, I was advised by Mtn.Top not to change the steel frame leg bolts or the steel strut rod bolts. And there were only 2 M10s I couldn't change because my kit was installed and one was right up against the airbox, and the upper inside axle bolt would require pulling the third shock to change. I did loosen the track and deflated the shocks to alleviate the pressure on all the bolts when I changed them. I also Loctited them all. And I know the Yeti guys recently talked about some titanium bolts shearing off the heads with big jumpers because the neck of the bolt was thinner, but the M10s I got have the same diameter at the neck as the threads. The majority of the M10s are 1.5 pitch by 30 millimeters, but there are some smaller 20 millimeter ones where you can see shorter inserts like with the third shock, but I did use all 30s so they will fit. The M8s are 1.25 pitch by 30 millimeters, and the track tensioner bolts are 45 millimeters long, though I used 40s and it seems to have plenty left for adjusting. I eliminated the washers where my titanium M10s are flange heads, but I didn't replace the 8 millimeter washers or the shock bolt washers with titanium. So if the titaniums are half the weight, this was half of everything I replaced to show what I basically removed from the kit. And so there you have it. The only question remaining is, what's the ratio of feet or meters of distance per pound on jumps?